Welcome back, True Seeker. Recently saw an RL Stine horror series on Netflix, and I want to talk about it because I think it's more of a documentary than a work of fiction, how most people will see it. And I want to play just a little audio clip. I can't show the film, but just a little audio clip from part three of the trilogy, and I'll fill you in on the visuals. But first, just about 10 seconds or so of listening here. And do let me know if the audio is coming through. The clip is beginning now. Okay, so if you could hear that, it was the names Abaddon, Azazel, Beelzebub, Moloch. Of course, that's the one they got a big statue of where all the weirdo politicians gather outside of San Francisco, the place that Alex Jones supposedly snuck into, which off the top of my head, I cannot think of the damn name of, but it'll come to me. And then also they said Satan. So that's just a little audio clip from Fear Street. And what's happened in that scene is these young girls have snuck into the witch's house and they're looking at her book of spells. And just before they flip to the page with all those names where she reads them off, it shows her open to the page that is the Tree of Life from Kabbalah. So she's looking at the Tree of Life and then she's reading out these names associated with demons and fallen angels. And some of those names are aliases for Satan. But yeah, what this film is about, or a trilogy, and they're based on the R.L. Stine books. And actually, with that said, R.L. Stine was raised Jewish, like so many people in show business. Raised Jewish. If you're Jewish, you're probably a lot more likely to know about Kabbalah and the Tree of Life. Almost no one outside of Judaism knows about Kabbalah or the Tree of Life. And remember, with regards to the Tree of Life, there's a good half and there's an evil half. And the evil half is about witchcraft and sorcery and spell casting and having influence over others. So in this series, what it's about is this town. There's these two towns, neighboring towns. One is called Shadyside, the other is called Sunnyvale. And the first series begins in 94. It tells the story of what's taking place in these towns in 1994. Then it falls back in part two to 1978, what led up to the events in 94. And then it falls all the way back to the year 1666, which is when you hear the voice when they're reading from this witch's book. But what's been going on for 300 years in this town is there is a family that is politically in power. They run the mayor's office, they run the sheriff's office. And the rumor in these towns is that Shadyside, well, if you're from Sunnyvale, you just think the people from Shadyside are just crazy losers. But if you're in Shadyside, you think something is wrong with that town. There's some kind of curse there that's turning people into evil killers because there's a lot of mass murders in the town of Shadyside. And by the end of the trilogy, you get to the bottom of what's going on. But what's going on is the family that is politically in power over both towns is the good family, right? The good family. And then what you learn, and by the way, if you don't like spoilers, just turn off my video. But at the same time, maybe just listen and then watch the movie with what I'm saying in mind. The good family, the patriarch of the family is Solomon, okay? Later in this movie, it shows the family tree of the goods. A big tree, right? Like the Kabbalistic tree of life. And as if you watch the series, they keep coming back to the tree and how they preserve this historic tree where the witch was hung inside this mall. It's all part of the lore of the town. But in one scene, it shows the family tree of the goods. And the patriarch of the family, the source of it is Solomon. And what it shows in the tree is instead of writing out the name good, it just has a huge G for the good family. They just put a big G there with Solomon. Now, obviously, if you're aware of Freemasonry, you know their symbol is the big G, and you know that all of their lore and secrets are based in Solomon's temple, which comes from the Old Testament. That's the first temple. Again, this whole thing of, Temple Mount today being contested, and, hardline Zionists want to build the third temple there because of the destruction of Solomon's temple and Herod's temple in history. Anyway, you got the name Solomon with a big G. And then, again, if you're paying attention and you see how it showed Solomon in the beginning, first you see the witch with the book, but then later you see that Solomon has the book. And actually what happens in the series is Solomon kills the witch, takes her magic, and uses it to promote his own power. And he goes on this thing about, this speech about, listen, I'm only doing this because I want power. I want legacy. And if I have to sacrifice one person a year, then so be it. But yes, he kills the witch and takes this knowledge from her because he realizes there's power in it. But again, just Solomon, the big G, Freemasonry. Freemasonry is based in Kabbalah. And that's why some people call Freemasonry Judaism for the Gentile. Freemasonry known as Judaism for the Gentile. Again, RL Stine wrote this story that's been made into a movie series, and he comes from a Jewish upbringing. So, some other things that stand out. Calling on the names of demons, right? The most known text for demons having to do with demonology is the Goetia, which has 72 demons in it. Look at when the first Fear Street movie came out. It came out on July 2nd. The first released on 7/2, right? 7/2. Okay, 72 demons in the Goetia. Part 2, which is set in 78, came out on July 9th. Now, this movie is, it's a mass murder movie. What you find out is the Good family. Hold on, we're getting a call. I hope we don't have some kind of audio problem here. Rick, can you hear me?
Ended the stream real quick.
I ended the stream?
Well, somebody did.
I didn't end the stream. No, I did not end the stream.
Yeah, they just cut you down. Boom.
On my end, it shows that I'm still live.
All right, let me go here.
It says that the time's ticking. It says 7 minutes, 54, 55, 56.
All right, that's cool. It's cool. Yeah, it's good. It was the other one.
No, I did not end the stream. All right, yeah. Well, all right, anyway, appreciate it, Rick. Thank you. Take care. All right, let me check in with the chat real quick. On my end, it says the stream's going. I see that almost nobody's in here. We have like our worst viewers ever for a live stream. I do see that. Let me see. On my end, everything looks good. Let me see, though, with the chat. Okay, so Open Up said the stream is fine. Open Up, did the stream cut out at all? Is it because I played the audio clip? Did they do something because I played the audio from the movie? I didn't think 10 seconds of audio was going to do anything. It ended your stream as well. Okay. All right. Huh, weird. Yeah, well, obviously, I don't know. I've never seen so few people on the live stream. But okay, just coming back to this. So part 1 came out on 7/2. Again, 72 demons in the Goetia, right? 7/9 is the second release date. Big murder number, right? And keep in mind that powerful Jewish Catholic alliance is the Jesuit Order, also known as the Society of Jesus. Jesuit Order 72. Society of Jesus is 79, a 7/2 release, a 7/9 release. Notice how Camp Nightwing, this is like one of the main plot points in the film is what happened to Camp Nightwing. Camp Nightwing is 72. That you hear about through the whole trilogy, but the second movie is all set at Camp Nightwing, and in the year 78. Notice how Jesuit alone is 78, like Scottish Rite is 78. Remember, a lot of the rites of the Scottish Rite were written by Jesuit priests, and the 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite shares the motto with the Jesuits in Merum de Gloriam. But Scottish Rite 78, like Jesuit, 78 is the 12th triangular number in the film series. Again, part 2 is set in 78. 12 children are killed in that, just like how you find out that in the beginning, Solomon sacrificed a man and 12 children, 13 people for his power to begin. And that's the other thing too. At the end of this movie, you see that they have, when there's a murder scene, they set up the little yellow numbers. At the end, the witchcraft text, it has a number on it, and they put number 13 on the evidence for the witchcraft book. And then at the end, somebody grabs the book away, and then it like leaves it open that there'll be more movies because now somebody else has the witchcraft book. But think about that too, just with 13 and the Illuminati, which was founded by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt, and part of the plan was to infiltrate Freemasonry. Anyhow, 12 children are killed in 78. If you add 1 through 12 together, it equals 78. And then, again, the Jesuits were created in the 16th century. Notice that the first movie set in 94, then it goes back 16 years to 78, and then the last movie came out on the 16th of July, which is the 197th day of the year. And 197, of course, is the 45th prime. Fear Street, just for the record, does have that 45 in it. It's also got the 153 in it, like Jesuit Order does, like the Illuminati does. Again, Jesuit Order also has the 72 in it, like it came out on 7/2. Look at Camp Nightwing again, 14472. Same numbers in Jesuit Order. And overlapping with Fear Street. But yeah, this movie, again, you watch it, you're not paying attention. It's just your typical horror movie. It's like Freddy Krueger, it's like Jason, but you're actually paying attention. And I've said this before. I never liked horror movies before. I always thought, like, I don't know why anyone wants to watch horror movies, but ever since I learned about this knowledge, I could almost argue that I find horror movies to be the most interesting genre of film, because if you pay attention, they're always paying tribute to Kabbalah. The tree of life is so often shown in these movies. You start to realize too that all these demons have a lot to do with Jewish mysticism. Abaddon relates to the Old Testament. It's Jewish. Abaddon, right? One of the names mentioned. Azazel, specifically important to Yom Kippur, Jewish holiday. And again, Yom Kippur is always a day for big rituals. In 2017, I'm pretty sure the reason my channel got deleted is because we were right on the money with why there was going to be the biggest false flag in the U.S. since 9/11. I said it was going to happen right about the time of Yom Kippur. That ended up being the Vegas shooting in Sin City, when Yom Kippur is about atonement for your sins. Beelzebub, another name for Satan. Also Kabbalistic connections. Moloch goes back to Canaan, eater of children. In this film, it's mostly having to deal with the sacrifice of children for people's power. And then, of course, Satan, more the Christian name for connecting to a lot of these Old Testament figures. But yeah, it's just like all spelled out in the story. That they're using this Kabbalistic power. They're sacrificing people for their own power and legacy. You know what I mean? And then just the irony of it too, right? They're the good family. The good family is who's doing this. They've taken on the name good. But yeah, it's just, it really is. It's just all right in front of your face if you're paying attention. Solomon, the big G, the Kabbalistic tree of life. Who created the story? And it is true, you guys. They say those who you cannot speak of are those who control you. It is no secret that on YouTube, that there is the one group of people where you really can't say much about them or you're instantly deleted. And again, you look at this nation, right? Like the US right now, that nation and those people are killing a lot of people and children right now, and you're not supposed to really say anything about it. If I make a video calling that out and saying that's bad, it'll instantly be non-eligible for monetization. If I make a video though cheerleading that nation's killing of people, it'll be no problem. It'll be instantly monetizable. It'll probably get more views. That is the reality of how this platform works. And it's also just the reality of how this nation works too, right? Because just the other day, two of those people were supposedly killed in front of a museum for those people. That became the dominant headline that evening. For the days after, they're still talking about it. That same day, the leader of that nation, he talked about how they were fully going to occupy Gaza and continue turning that place to a wasteland. Didn't even make any headlines. Nobody cares. A lot of children killed that day. A lot of people didn't even make any top headlines here in the States. But the two, that took over the headlines. The other day, supposedly some of those people were burned with a Molotov cocktail, which comes from a land that a lot of those people are actually from. Khazaria. That's a Russian, Ukrainian type of thing, a Molotov cocktail. And we all know the ritual they did recently was sending the $95 billion over there that got approved on Small Mustache Man's birthday and then was signed off on the 201st day of the war. And just to remind you guys about that too, if you like write out those people and then mysticism, it's 201 and 69, just like the Jesuit order is 201 and 69, and again, so is Order of Illuminati. And remember, the Order of Illuminati was founded by Adam Weishaupt, who was born to an Uish family, but his parents died, and then he was raised by a Jesuit priest, and then he went on to find the Illuminati, and he even died in history 201 days after the anniversary of its establishment. And of course, State of Israel has the 201, and the Russia-Ukraine war. Biden and Putin met 201 days into the first Jesuitic nation year, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, this movie right here, Fear Street. Just to be honest, just a personal thing. When we put this on the other day, Sweet Lady has a little soft spot for horror movies. What instantly got me into the movie was that it was set in 94. It did capture the 94 period. It just reminded me of my childhood. I was like, yeah, this reminds me of being a kid, taking the bus to go to the mall, the music that's on, the things people, yeah. So anyway, we all have that nostalgia thing. It just reminded me of better times. But then as I watched, I was like, I'm actually glad we're watching this. My God, it's just like, it's the whole truth of what's going on in this world. And I really think that. I think this is exactly what's going on. They're showing you people at the top. And that's the thing too. If you watch the film, you'll see that the good family plays down any rumors of witchcraft and sorcery and demonology and say, oh, that's all a bunch of hearsay. That's all a bunch of podunk nonsense. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, they're practicing it. And then there's also the line in the film about how, hold on, let me find it. It's got a quote right from the movie. Solomon forged this place with nothing but words and stone. You think of the stonemasons. Awakening this power from the depths of the earth, he extended his hand to the darkness for my family, for me. 300 years it's lived, grown, we've cultivated it, we've sacrificed for it, and you think you can stop it? So, and then it says, Nick explaining the goods Faustian bargain to Dina. The veil has grown thin with the turn of the moon, and with it the morning star rises. Beware the devil, he lives in that book. He calls to you from it. He senses you now, and if you're not careful, he'll bore himself beneath your skin, and he'll consume you from the inside out. So, yeah, the movie has a lot of interesting quotes, and you do have to be paying attention. I mean, if you blinked your eye, you would have missed when the witch opens to the Tree of Life. She just has it there on the screen for maybe 1.5 seconds, and then it's on to the next page. But there it is, right before you, if you're paying attention. So anyway, I got about 15 more minutes. If you guys want to call in, you can call in if you know something about this series. Maybe you've read the books. I imagine there's a lot more in the books. I remember when I was a child, RL Stine books were very popular. Back then we used to, you guys do that in school when you were growing up? Have like the Scholastic, and you could order books. Teacher would hand them out like once a month to order some books. I never read any R.L. Stine, but I remember a lot of other kids did. But yeah, also, if you want to call in about other horror movies that lay down the knowledge, because there's a lot of them, and I've covered them over the years. Again, that Ari Aster guy who's making the movie that's dedicated to yours truly that comes out this summer, his movie Hereditary, it drops a lot of truth. He's also from the... Somebody said I should start using the phrase small beanie club. Yeah, again, This stuff is littered all over Hollywood if you're paying attention. Clues of what's actually going on in the world. But yeah, if you have something to say, maybe you've read the Fear Street series, maybe you've seen these movies and you caught something I overlooked or I should have mentioned and I forgot to. The line is open. One other thing I can say about that July 16th date that the last one came out, it can be written 16/7, a bit like 167, which is the 39th prime number. Old Testament, of course, does have the 39 books in it, unless you're talking Catholic Bibles where it has 46, like Catholic equals 46. And one other thing about the horror genre, just the gematria of it, horror's got the 47, you know, just the Mason study, the 47th problem of Euclid. One of the most remade horror movies is Amityville, set in 74. Of course, Masonic 74, like a cult-like killing. Remember as a kid and we were watching one of those movies. I've never put, well, actually, I actually have to put my hand down the disposal all the time to clean out the crap in it. But I always think about that scene. Ever seen Amityville? All right. Well, we don't have many callers, and actually that could be because almost nobody's watching the stream. Things just get worse by the day around here. We just, the views go down every day. Less people in every live stream as we progress. I'm pretty sure give it a year, it'll probably be hard to get 100 views on a video. Yeah, Goosebumps. That was the RL Stine series that everybody read. I'd actually never read any RL Stine in my life, but now after seeing this, I was like, man, maybe I've been missing out. Maybe I would have figured out this gematria thing in elementary school and I just read some RL Stine. All right, I do have to get off here in now 13 minutes. So if anybody wants to share something or has something to add, the line is open. If not, I might just keep it short and sweet. But yeah, if you have Netflix, you might also want to watch this because it in a way, it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of like a documentary. Apparently there's a new one. Maybe that's how it showed up in Netflix. I see there's a new one out. That's probably why they put these other ones on Netflix. So I don't know what's in the new one. I haven't seen Prom Queen, but I did end up watching this little trilogy here. They made a show for Goosebumps as well, huh? I say shout out to Kayla. I didn't realize that they turned Goosebumps into a show also, but it makes sense. It was super popular. That's funny. You gave all your Goosebumps books to your cousin yesterday. Funny timing. It won't accept your call. Oh, hold on. Did I screw up here with the phone line? Sometimes I have to reset the phone line. All right, try calling it now. I bet it'll work now. I just reset it. Yeah, call that number on the screen, the 509 number. I still got about 10 minutes here. So just try to make it short and sweet. Yeah. I like the soundtrack for the '94 version. Yeah, they do have the Rob Zombie song in there. That's why I like the movie, man. It just took me back to living in that time. I used to have a baseball coach that would always play that song at practice. What's up, 205?
What's up? How you doing, Zach? I'm actually glad you're doing this stream because I've been telling a lot of people they need to watch this Fear Street series, especially part 3, Fear Street 1666. I mean, they put it right in our face with the 666. And
yeah, absolutely.
Do you think they are really using dark magic? Well, have you actually seen like all 3 movies?
I watched all 3 movies, indeed.
So you know how at the end, like when they killed the sheriff, it broke the curse. Do you really believe like they doing stuff like that? Because I feel like they are.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a long time. Spells and spelling, and I don't know how else to explain how our fellow man thinks what I'm showing every day is some kind of coincidence. It's like, how do you think this is a coincidence every day? These people are under a spell.
even here, I believe I might have decoded some stuff here in Birmingham. I know you posted that Baphomet statue, but I really think that's a statue of Pan in Greek mythology because of where it sits and what Pan represents. On 5 Point South, that's by UAB, like their little apartments for the college students, and then you have clubs right there, bars. And I know in Greek mythology, Pan basically, I think he was called a bad boy. He had something to do with like, I guess getting with women and messing up their purity. And then here in Birmingham, we have the Vulcan statue that sits above the city. And when you really kind of look into Vulcan, he wasn't really a good guy. He was a plunderer, which ain't that like a pirate in a way?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Because I believe they said where his statue sits in our city, how that little gap between, I guess, what people would consider the ghetto or, you know, the black neighborhoods, leading over to the mountains in the white neighborhoods. I believe they said that was blown by dynamite or something way back in the day. And it's kind of odd, like how they got that Vulcan statue sitting there. And I think in Greek mythology, he also has something to do with also not just creating like steel work, but he had something to do with creating humans as well and females to seduce men.
Okay.
And then Pan was known to. It's like, and then I got a picture of a weird statue sitting on the north side of downtown. And I'll type it in the chat. I'm gonna have to go look at it again, but it's two Greek goddesses in one statue. I managed to find it. It's like they all tie together.
Okay. I'll have to look more into that because I'm not sure about the statue in Alabama, and you're thinking it's Pan rather than Baphomet. They're both half man, half goat, so I see the parallel.
Yeah. You have like a social media I can send you all the images I have and let you look into it.
Yeah, I got my own social media website. You should be on there, freetofindtruth.com. Just set up an account and post all your stuff on there. I'll scan through it later today.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, take care, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I still got a few more minutes, and then I got to wrap it up. But yeah, if anybody else has anything else to add about this series, this movie, or even any other horror movies, because again, almost any time we've turned on a horror movie, I've just been thinking, wow, the stuff that they put in front of your face. 747, what's up?
Hey, Zach.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on.
Hello?
You're on.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, hey. Hey, what's up, Zach? What's the word?
Yeah, talking about this Fear Street series. What do you want to add to the conversation?
Yeah, well, you know, I got something that I find real crazy. I noticed that it seems to be it's two sides. We always talk about who's doing it and this and that. But I noticed that in our area in California, every time they put certain businesses together. Yeah, well, you know, I got something there. It seems that every time they put certain businesses together, they put, for example, I just noticed they have Raising Cane's and they have Rubio's, the taco place, right next to each other. And I noticed that in the Trump party right now, they have a guy. His name is Raising Cane. Then they also have Marco Rubio. So I just find something kind of weird with that these businesses exist. And where they exist is usually Hispanic areas or areas that are meant to be Hispanic in the future.
Okay, I'll pay attention to that. Interesting observation.
And it's probably more than just that, but those are just like, it's more than just those businesses, but I find that to be kind of weird, especially the fact that there's a guy named Raising Cane in the administration right now, and Marco Rubio's in the administration right now.
And just to
So
hear
it's
you
kind of
clearly, you're
weird.
saying the guy's name is Raising Cain?
Well, they keep saying his name as Raising Cain. So I don't know if it's you remember Trump? He's always talking about the farmers, the planters. They all raise Cain. So I mean,
yeah, I'll look more into it. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
All right, take care. All right, that didn't have anything to do with the current topic, but again, I didn't have any information for that either. Does anybody have a call in about the topic? Because I got time for one more call. And again, I always see people do call-in shows, and their callers will call in on topic. It almost seems like anytime I do call-ins, it's just like people are all over the place. I don't know why that is. But it's also part of the reason that sometimes I am hesitant to go to the phone line. If we don't have any more calls, we can leave it there too. But I thought this might be something that might get somebody's interest. Most people got Netflix out there. Most people have seen a horror movie or two. So, all right, last call. Otherwise, I'm about to shut it down. Yeah, tubal cane is definitely a thing with Freemasonry. Yeah, Kayla, check it out. Let me know if you see anything. Could have been something else I didn't spot because the show was full of all kinds of symbology. Okay, well, it doesn't look like we got any other callers, so I am going to turn it off, and we'll leave it there for now. Again, thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. If you guys are not watching videos, either you guys have totally lost interest in the channel, or you're not getting notifications and you're only clicking on things that are notifying you. I have put out a lot of short videos for all you guys who for years said I just needed to get back to making shorter videos. I don't see any of you guys ever around in the comments, and it doesn't seem like anybody's watching any of these videos. So, yeah, like I said the other day, it takes about I have to literally make about 100 videos now to get the same amount of views I would get on one video 8 years ago, which is quite pathetic. That's not really an exaggeration either. I guess you could say 50 to 100 videos is about what I have to make to get the same views I would get on one video back in 2017. And based on how many subs are on the channel, that shouldn't really be the case. Statistically, about 1 in 40 of my subscribers watch a video. It might even be worse than that, because I realized in recent days, videos aren't even getting 1,000 views. So, posted 44 minutes ago, 45 views. Again, 2017 average video had about 10,000 views within a half hour. So yeah, just so you guys know, all the recent stories, pretty much everything big and buzzing in the headlines. The Madden thing, people used to love themselves at Madden. A day ago doesn't even have 1,000 views, but yeah, you guys. Again, I really didn't want to leave YouTube because that's what they want us to do. But at this point, making videos and having pretty much nobody watch any of them, it does seem like a waste of time. It's kind of what I feel like right now. This is a waste of time. And I don't know really what platform we can have any success on. We've been banned on pretty much all of them. Rumble get the very worst views because that's a for Republicans only channel. But yeah, this is look at these views, you guys. This is what you call pathetic. So there was a little spurt there where somehow we got halfway decent views. That's not really great. 5,000 views on a number of videos, but again, just a lot of things right around 1,000. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm almost tempted to just start making videos and only putting them on Patreon for the people that actually support the work, because we're not really bringing in any new people. And because, again, we're not reaching any new people. And for all you guys who think that, oh, it's just the YouTube's just manipulating the stats and the views are probably way bigger, they're not. They're not. When this content reaches new people in large numbers, ebooks sell. And right now I average about 3 ebook sales a month. So that tells you that we're not reaching anyone really. But yeah, it really is quite pathetic where the channel is in 2025 in light of all that has been proven over the course of 12 years. It's like, where's all the basketball fans? They didn't watch this Jim Irsay video where I repeated over and over that he's dead at 65 right before tip-off when the finals start on 6-5? You think? All the people every day that say this stuff's a coincidence. First, she was dead at 62. David Hasselhoff's ex, dead at 62. Her name equals 62. Now they put out her cause of death on 6/2. Yeah, that's why I say this this movie here with... And for those of you guys who still haven't figured out, the videos are video uploads, and the live tab is live streams, obviously. But yeah, we're down to very bad viewership on pretty much every live as well. So I don't know. Motivation is extra low. Keep churning them out. But I look at the views each time and I say, what is the point of doing this? This is worthless. Then some video pops up in my feed, and I just click on it just out of curiosity. Why all these people are watching it? It's usually some overweight person just talking about TV stories like they're real, like news stories like they're real, with $500 in super chat still up on the screen. It's like, how is this even possible? Like, this guy looks like Jabba the Hutt talking about news like it's real. Has $500 more just in the last 30 minutes doing nothing. So anyway, guys. I do this with the hope of making a difference, and at this point, it doesn't feel like it's going to make any difference at all. It feels like it's a complete waste of time. So I'll keep you posted on what I decide, but like I said, I don't see the cavalry coming, and the fact that the viewership just gets worse every day, it's incredibly frustrating. Anyway, we'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker, and until next time.